This was my first time I've ever laid a tile in my life, which makes this video either inspiring or deeply concerning. I started by fixing 2 bits of batten to the wall. These will support the second row of tiles and keep everything straight, or at least that's the theory, because if this isn't perfectly level, then we're basically building modern art. The spirit level's got a proper workout here, check in, recheck in, and then check in again, just in case gravity had decided to change its mind. Then came the big moment, the first row of tiles. This is the first tile I've ever laid. I spent far too long obsessing over the spirit level, convinced each tile was perfect. Spoiler, focusing on one tile at a time doesn't guarantee the whole wall will look straight. For adhesive, I'm using S1 slow set, mostly because it gives extra time to fix my mistakes before they are set in stone, literally. I sling it on the wall with a bucket trowel, then spread it evenly using a 6mm notch trowel. These little 2mm spacers go behind each tile. They keep everything consistent and make space for the leveling wedges. As I quickly discovered, the line between level and nearly level is roughly the thickness of your patience. With the first row of tiles finally on the wall, I hopped straight up to the second row. Same process, but this time feeling slightly more confident, swinging that notch trowel around. You know that full sense of competence that kicks in right before you make a new kind of mistake? I left all the cuts on the left side of the wall for later so I could do them in one go. It felt efficient, or lazy. Each tile got the full treatment, adhesive on the wall, a thin layer on the back. That's called back buttering, which, let's be honest, sounds like it belongs on a very different YouTube channel. A few tiles in and already some lessons learned. Too much adhesive around the edges and it oozes into the grout joints. And here's the thing, every single tile can look perfect on its own, but together, one sits a few millimeter proud and suddenly our straight wall will have a nose. Out came the long spirit level again, like some sort of over-caffeinated surveyor trying to prove a point. I decided to get all the full tiles up first and save the cuts for later. Overall, pretty solid progress. A few tiles came off here and there, purely for creative alignment, but my first real wall of tiles, not bad at all. Now on to the cuts, squeaky bum time. Call me old fashioned, but I went full analog on this. Tape measure, pencil, and blind optimism. No fancy laser in sight, just me squinting at numbers, pretending I trust my own handwriting. Each measurement went straight onto the tile. For the holes, I treated myself to a 17mm diamond drill bit for the pipes and 40mm for the waste. Fancy stuff. Nothing says I'm a professional like tools that cost more than the tiles. Then came the fun part, cutting. I took the tile outside because this is a wet cut. There is nothing quite like your neighbours driving past while you're bent over on the driveway clutching a wet sponge, questioning your life choices. Porcelain, by the way, is about as forgiving as a tax return. It takes forever to cut through and the bit loves to wander off like it's late for another job. But somehow, despite all the odds and mild chaos, the test fit was perfect. The tile slid neatly over the pipes like it had been made for it. For a brief shining moment, I felt unstoppable. Somewhere around this point, I realised I should probably be paying attention which way the tiles actually face. Rookie move. Nothing quite like proudly sticking one up, stepping back and realising that the good edge is now hiding behind the sink. I'd managed to avoid the tile cutter until now, but that moment had come. My builder friend lent me this Ruby cutter and I'll admit it was far easier than expected, which is annoying considering I'd spent weeks researching like I was writing a dissertation. From there it was rinse and repeat, measure, cut, spread, stick. Don't be fooled by the time lapse, this took absolutely ages. I like things perfect, which means any slight imperfection gets the full off you come then treatment. I've basically invented a new Olympic event, competitive retiling. After a few rounds of perfectionism-ish and several deep sighs, the first 3 rows were finally in. Straight, level, and actually looking pretty good. Even if I do say myself, and believe me, I will because no one else is volunteering. Next came a cut that could only be achieved with an angle grinder. I bought a shiny new diamond blade, not because I have a tool buying problem, wink wink, this one was a genuine need. This was a slow and steady job, the kind where you get going and hope for the best. It's right in your eye line, one of those spots where even if it's slightly off, you'll see it every morning while washing off your soap suds. I offered the tile up to the wall and it actually looked good. Miracles do happen. So on went the goo, a bit of back buttering for good measure, and the tile was finally secured in place. Another big win, or at least that's what I told myself while checking it with a 6-foot level for the 7th time. Time to work my way up the wall, armed with a few valuable lessons from the chaos below. Lesson 1, don't back butter right up to the edge of the tile. Lesson 2, don't spread adhesive across the grout lines. Like anything you try for the first time, the learning curve is steep, then it levels out, then you finish a job and you realise you could probably do it twice as well if you started again. That's learning. Or so I'm told. So it was rinse and repeat up the wall, adhesive on, spacers in, a bit of back butter in, slap it on, shove in the levelling clips and pretend it's all going well. There was one last stretch above where the basin will sit. Thin, awkward cuts that had to look good because they'll be in plain sight. So I double checked every measurement, gave the cutter another workout, got them all in, pretty level if you don't look too closely. A new day, a new wall, and for once I was feeling optimistic, refreshed even, ready and determined to put everything I'd learned into practice. I wouldn't call it therapeutic, but I was definitely starting to get into a rhythm. There's a certain satisfaction in it. Just me, the trowel and a never-growing collection of adhesive splats on the floor. Then came the shower pipes, same drill as before, measure, mark, double check, then back to the driveway to give the neighbours another episode of that guy with a wet sponge. A quick test fit. Miraculously, it slid right into place. Now by now, a few more lessons had sunk in. 1. Not all tiles are the same size. Who knew? 2. Keep your levels clean because one bit of adhesive on the face and suddenly your perfectly straight wall is a lie. As I worked my way up the second wall, I kept checking that the corner was perfectly 90 degrees. Same goes for making sure the walls were plumb, giving future me a slight chance when installing the shower enclosure. And then I hit the ceiling, or rather the ceiling hit me because it wasn't level, not even close. That meant every tile had to be cut and ground individually, none of them were straight. It's amazing what you notice once you're nose to nose with your own walls. These levelling clips are the absolute dream. Without these, I'm not sure I would have got a finish that's nearly as good. All the hole cuts come out well. This is a 20mm hole for the 15mm pipe. I bought this big square as well to check that the corner is square. The next day I could actually take the battens off the wall and would you believe it, nothing fell off. That left a gap for the bottom row of tiles, which in my head was going to be a quick job. They were the most awkward, fiddly and gravity defying tiles of the entire project. The second tile in called for an angled cut around the shower tray, a quick go with the angle grinder, and it was actually pretty good. I was so proud I went downstairs to tell my wife, who looked genuinely thrilled. For about 2 seconds. It's hard work down there, cramped, awkward, but the result was worth it. Each cut lined up nicely and overall it turned out pretty great. The trim. Easy job, right? Well, it would have been if I'd not let the tile adhesive set harder than concrete before putting it in. Load in behind the edge of the tile with adhesive to fill the gap and seal the edge. Press in the trim, simple enough, until I realised the trim had a natural bow. And suddenly I'm wrestling it into place with screws, spacers and sheer determination. Then came the satisfying bit, bashing out all those levelling spacers. Well, most of them. Some of them are actually part of the furniture now and I'll have to find a way to remove them, but that's a job for the next video. I'll see you there.